Prove you're not manipulative. 4 words can turn a conversation into a trial. No event has been named, no evidence has been offered, but you're searching your memory for proof of your own character. That is the self-proof trap. One short accusation creates an unlimited defense job. The longer you answer, the more material the accusation acquires. Each explanation opens another drawer and invites another question. Explain one memory, and the conversation expands. Get angry, and the anger becomes suspicious. Stay calm, and the calm looks rehearsed. Go silent, and silence becomes an admission. Before you defend your whole character, stop the process one step earlier. Ask whether there is an actual claim to answer. Your controlling is a label. It may express a real concern, but by itself, it does not identify what happened. In Tuesday's meeting, you interrupted me 3 times and answered for me after I asked you to stop is a claim with observable parts. Specific does not automatically mean true. It means the statement can be investigated, answered, corrected, or supported. This distinction should protect accountability, not erase it. An answerable complaint usually gives you 3 handles: the time or context, the observable action, and the impact being claimed. A feeling can be real, even when another person's intent remains uncertain. A careful conversation can hold both facts. A pattern accusation may also be valid, but a pattern becomes discussable through examples, not through a label that grows whenever it is questioned. The burden of proof is not a magic shield or a permanent moral property. It is a procedural question inside a kind of dialogue. Argumentation research treats burdens and presumptions as context-dependent. They can move as reasons, evidence, or accepted assumptions enter the exchange. If someone gives you credible examples of conduct, you now have something to answer. The conversation has not trapped you. It has become more precise. But when no support appears, and you are simply assigned the role of defendant, the evidence stage has been bypassed. Courts make this visible because formal systems specify the party, the proposition, and the standard that must be met. Your dinner table, office, or relationship is not a courtroom, and ordinary conflict does not inherit courtroom rules. The useful lesson is smaller. Before demanding a response, identify what is being asserted and what would count as support. Once an undefined accusation is accepted, attention moves from the evidence to the accused person's reaction. Anger looks guilty. Calmness looks calculated. Explanation looks like excuse-making. Silence looks like confirmation. Across 6 studies, researchers found a troubling mismatch. Observers tended to treat an accused person's anger as a cue of guilt, while the studies of accused participants found greater anger after false accusations than accurate ones. That is a group-level finding, not an innocence test. Anger does not prove innocence, and calmness does not prove guilt. Reaction is not evidence of the original allegation. Call the next pattern a self-sealing accusation. That is a description of the argument structure, not a diagnosis of the person making it. Deny it, and you are defensive. Explain, and you are manipulating. Pause, and you are avoiding. Agree with one detail, and the entire label is declared proven. Research on self-sealing belief systems describes conclusions protected from counter-evidence. Here, we borrow only that structural feature. A real inquiry has exit conditions. What evidence could change the conclusion? What answer could count? If nothing can count, the exchange is preserving a verdict, not examining a claim. So use an evidence gate. This is an editorial communication model, not a legal standard and not a guaranteed conflict technique. First, name the claim. Second, ground it in something observable. Third, bound its scope. Fourth, answer the defined point once, or pause when no point has been defined. The model does not make you right. It restores the order that makes disagreement possible. Claim, support, then response. Start with name. Ask, without sarcasm, what specifically are you saying I did? If the answer remains an identity label, try again. What event are you referring to? You are asking for a proposition small enough to examine, then ground it. What happened? Who observed it? Is there a message, a decision, a repeated action, or only an interpretation of your reaction? When the claim begins with, "People say," separate the rumor from the speaker's own assertion. An invisible crowd should not expand the evidence beyond what the speaker can actually support. Third, bound the scope. Are you discussing one meeting, a month of decisions, or a recurring pattern? What behavior and what impact belong inside the claim? Bounding does not force every concern into one incident. A pattern can include many examples. It simply prevents unrelated history and unspoken motives from joining without notice. And avoid the slogan that a negative can never be proven. Some negative claims are testable. The real problem here is an accusation whose terms and boundaries have never been defined. Fourth, answer the defined point once. If the evidence identifies conduct you recognize, accountability does not require accepting a total judgment about your identity. You might say, "I did interrupt you on Tuesday. That was unfair. I do not accept that this proves I always control people. Let's stay with that meeting." If no evidence or example appears, try, "I can't answer a general label. If you have a specific example, I'll discuss it." When the label returns without new support, pause the exchange. That is not silent intimidation. It is a boundary around a process that has stopped producing information. In a workplace, legal dispute, public accusation, or safety-sensitive situation, a clever reply may make things worse. Preserve exact words, dates, messages, decisions, and witnesses, then use the relevant policy or qualified support. Do not weaponize this method against emotion. Someone may speak imperfectly because they are hurt, afraid, or still organizing the event. Ask for a concrete example and listen when one arrives. The evidence gate asks both people to separate observation, interpretation, feeling, and conclusion as honestly as they can. It does not demand courtroom proof before acknowledging impact. Sometimes the accusation becomes specific, and you discover something you need to answer. Sometimes it never becomes a claim at all. Both outcomes are clearer than endless self-defense. You do not owe an infinite defense to an undefined charge, but you do owe attention to a specific claim supported by something both sides can examine. Accountability begins when a claim becomes testable. Dignity begins when you stop defending every possible version of yourself and return to what actually happened.